Arminius, do you see? Romans. What are you doing?
It's a bit quiet out here today, wouldn't you say, Varys? Yeah, I never trust these force either. You always know just what to say, Varys. You always cheer me up. If anything ever happened to you, I don't know what I would do.
Take the shot.
Well, great. Now that's gonna haunt my dreams. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are here today because we are going to give Maximus Decimus Meridius,
commander of the armies of the north, general of the Felix legions, servant to the true emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife.
one last send-off here. This armor is going to be replaced soon, and I've put it through quite the ringer. And today we have ourselves a ballistic dummy head. Now, I know the internet is filled with ballistic dummy heads, explosions, all that stuff, but I rarely have seen one done against a sling. We're going to use our sling here to test out the damage it will do to a head. And in addition to that, I am going to bring out a Javelin to see how that performs. I want to test the Javelin against the armor as well, and then go to the ballistic dummy head. And someone asked if I could do some throwing axes in another video, so I'll just throw those in there for fun as well. And for the premise of today's video, we are coming to you from the Teutoburg Forest. Wait, hold that thought. There we go, that's better. We are coming to you from the Teutoburg Forest. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with that, it is one of the worst defeats the Roman Empire ever experienced. It happened during the Germanic campaign. Legionaries, an auxiliary by the name of Arminius, betrayed the Roman legion. He unified a lot of the Germanic tribes and lured the Romans into an ambush. It happened during the course of a few days. It is estimated the Romans lost between 10 to 15,000 legionaries, including Varys, who killed himself on his own sword when all was lost. It was a bad day for Rome, and it really stopped their expansion into what was the Germanic lands. Most of the weapons that were used were going to be ranged weapons. They used short spears to throw, so I'm going to use that on the armor to see how it does as well. It doesn't say they use slings, but I would imagine that they did because they were skilled with them as tribes, and then swords. So I'm of course going to end the dummy head with a sword as well. So we're going to do a few things, and and just for the fun of it, I'm going to throw some axes in there as well. Now, for the armor in today's video, it's not going to be period appropriate, and it's been through a lot already. I tested out this armor quite a bit in a previous video.
And I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
But I'm gonna have it here just because it looks cool. And then if I miss the head, it makes a really satisfying thunk sound that I like to capture. So we're gonna be having this stand in here. The scutum over here, I'm gonna have off to the side because the armor stand's still broken. So I can't make him stand up any higher, and I wanna make sure I get that. And then for the ballistic dummy head right here, we have that helmet on top there as well. All of this came from Cult of Athena, which is now an affiliate of mine, by the way. So I think there's a link or something if you want to buy any of the weapons and things I use. That's where I get 90% of it from. But let's get started. Now for sling type, I'm going to be starting off with a hammock type sling here. I really enjoy this one, so it's going to be a good one to get going with. Rock type as well, it's going to be medium-sized projectile. I know I promised people lead, but I got that ballistics dummy head, and they're only good for a short time. The person who's going to send me the lead shot was not able to get it to me quickly, so we're going to go through here. But this is a very good, dense river rock, and probably what the Germanic tribes would have used. If you'll give me a second, I'm actually gonna tie my hair up. If you're gonna wonder why I look perpetually wet today, it's because the forecast where I live for today is 115 degrees. So I'm going to be consistently dumping my head as this video progresses because it is ungodly hot. So let's go. Okay, let's see what happens. That bounced this, cracked this in pretty bad here. It looks like it hit the jaw, but didn't break it. So I think it was a glancing blow right in there. So nothing terrible. And so now I want to get a close-up shot of it as well. Shoot, so that was actually the helmet again. That one was right here. For this one, what I actually want to do is I didn't really want to damage the helmet too much, so just to get the good impact on it, I want to just have the head here and just kind of see the damage that the sling will do against the ballistic dummy. So that'll definitely give a new meaning to the word knock your teeth out. That glanced off of this and then up in here. Oh my gosh. Teeth are just falling out. That is horrible. And it did crack the jaw as well. So that jaw right there, you can see that separated. So that's a clean break right there on the jaw from that side type shot. So I'm gonna turn it sideways here. And I've got one clean shot at the side of the melon. All right, it is time to assess our findings. So that was a very clean shot to the side of the head here. And dude, I mean, you can see obviously it ruptured the entirety of the skull. And these things are no joke. I mean, when I was doing the bow, you saw that the arrows were getting stopped by these. They weren't going all the way through it. So the fact that, I mean, it's just splintered it into tiny little pieces is pretty obscene. My gosh, that's just like looking at this thing. It's just slightly terrifying. Oh my gosh. Oh, dude. Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to bring you guys around to see this because this is insane. Like literally, like the layers upon, oh my gosh, layers of fracture in that skull. Like, dude, there's just no going back from that. That is, oh my gosh. Oh, that's a scary thing to see, truly. All right, everybody, next up, as promised, we have this spear. So I actually modified this a little bit. Before I had a much longer shaft for it.
Phrasing. Shut up!
And it was kind of a hard throwing one. So this is a much narrower one, lighter one. I have the same spear tip on it. And I want to test it against the armor and see how it does. And then I'll probably hit the skull as well, just because that's where the fun's at. I mean, that would have worked, right? All right, guys, I'm going to level with you 100%. That is my new favorite kill shot, bar none. That was much cooler than I thought it was gonna be. I'm actually really stoked about that. So you can definitely see that went all along here, through the skull, out to the other side with relative ease. Now naturally I was kind of close, but same concept applies. Spears don't lose that much velocity if you're 20 or 30 or 40 yards, if you got a decent trajectory, because they have so much mass behind them. That is way different than I thought it would be. So yeah, that was, oh my gosh. Oh God. Oh, I don't know if you heard that crunch, but that was gnarly. Ugh, that bone and blood everywhere, sweet mercy. Yes, looks like I killed a predator. Last but not least, we have our Spatha. Now this one was from Albion, so a lot of people ask where I get my things. This is probably the most expensive thing in my arsenal. It's a really well-made sword, very sharp. So we are gonna end with this one here. I'm probably gonna come down. I'll come downwards sideways so it doesn't like blow the skull off the thing, because I feel like it'll push it off if I come this way. It'll break the neck. Strike was actually really cool. It completely shaved, like a clean shaving of the bone off right there. Like it took off the whole frontal part of the skull in like one clean swipe, which is actually really cool. I had never done that before. I don't know if it's been done, but that was great. The second one was more of a crack along the back of the skull right in here. That one opened up all the way to the gooey insides here and snapped that all into pieces as well. So that is one dead Roman. Germanic tribes unite under Arminius until we betray him and murder him, because they couldn't agree on anything. All right, now this one is just for that one guy who asked for throwing axes. He actually asked for it against hardened steel, but I'm well aware how that's going to go. So before I put that armor to pasture, I'm just going to go ahead and take some throws at it. It's looking a bit worse for wear. All right, guys, I'm gonna level with you. It's so incredibly damaged that it's hard to tell if it really did anything, but I wanted to take one more shot here. The front of this is actually not in terrible shape, so I just want to get a slow-mo shot of the ballistics dummy with an axe, because that sounds fun. So the front part right here in the forehead hasn't taken too much damage, so let's take a shot at it. Now that was actually quite gnarly as well, and just so you guys know, those really aren't the sharpest axes in the block. It's been a while since I've put them together and sharpened them more, but that first one was right up top here. That cracked into the skull quite a bit, and then the other one was across the front of the face right there, so that punched into it as well. So oh my gosh, kid in a candy store, guys, kid in a candy store. And just for the sake of fairness, I figure last time, since we ended it with Grand, I'm gonna end it here with a Greatsword. Well, I figure that would be enough to make even Joffrey proud.
Sir Ilyn, bring me his head.
Too soon? I don't know if you can ever make fun of Ned Stark, but I think season 8 took care of that on its own. It kind of made fun of all of Game of Thrones. Well, everybody, that is our video. We have one dead dummy, Sling doing some crazy amounts of damage. The amount of fractures in that thing is just, it's genuinely terrifying to see it done on like a human analog. Sorry about the helmet thing. I really didn't want to damage that helmet. I wanted to try to get a square face shot, but I was just missing a little bit. So I was like, well, you know what? Let's take that off so I don't do more damage than I have to. And the spear was definitely my highlight. That thing absolutely crushed it. I couldn't believe it. So that was so fun. All things, thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end, I always appreciate you listening to my boring voice for however long these videos end up being. If you guys liked it, please be sure to like and comment, blah, blah, blah. But I was curious too, out of all the weapons I used, which one had the most amazing or impactful effect that you didn't expect? Were you expecting the sling to do what it did? Were you expecting the spear to do what it did? The sword was pretty obvious. We're kind of desensitized to swords cutting through ballistic dummies at this point. But shaving off the front part was actually kind of a cool thing to see. I'd never seen that before. So thank you for tuning in, guys. If you ever want to contribute to the page to kind of help me buy stuff faster, feel free to check out my Patreon. I'm gonna buy it all on my own sooner or later anyways. It's just a slow process. So if you want to help out, check that out. I try to post updates on what I'm doing, projects and everything like that there. But in the interim, have a great weekend. Ah.